Hi, today I would like to show you something that I've coded for fun, but also to solve a real problem that I have while browsing the web. Sometimes when we are online, we don't just read a website, but we have a lot of minion tasks that are repetitive and can be automatized. You need to scan long pages, compare information, open links, fill forms, search again, copy text, summarize it, remember details from previous pages or not, repeat the same small task over and over. So I asked myself, what if I had a companion inside the browser? Not just a simple chatbot, but a chatbot on steroids. A browser companion that can see what I am seeing, understand the page, interact with it, and help me to get things done. That's why I built a browser companion. Let's see what it can do. So the problem is simple. Modern browsing involves a lot of small repetitive tasks. You open a page, look at useful information, click a links, read more pages, maybe fill a form, maybe compare results, summarize everything. And if you use AI, you usually have to copy-paste content into a chat window. That breaks the flow. So the idea was, can I build an AI assistant that lives directly inside the browser? The solution I decided to build is a Chrome extension called Browser Companion. It opens a side panel like a chatbot, but it connects to the browser. You can talk with it in natural language, and it can observe the current page, understand what elements are available, and help you interact with the website. The goal was not to build a simple chatbot, but to have a useful browser agent that can complete tasks following my instructions. So before I started coding, I defined what the companion needed to be doing to feel complete. First, I needed a user interface. The most natural interface is a chat, because I want to give instruction in plain language. Second, it needed to see what the browser is showing, not as a screenshot, but as constructed information, text, links, buttons, forms, headings, and useful elements. Third, it needs to interact with the browser. For example, it should be able to write inside text areas, click links, wait for pages to change, and then understand what happened. Fourth, it needed to navigate the internet. It should be able to search online, access URLs, and collect information without being forced to open every page for me to see. Fifth, it needed to open new tabs when useful. If I ask for a website, a search result, or a specific resource, it should be open on a new tab or multiple simultaneously. Sixth, it needed a memory. Some information should survive between sessions, but only when I ask for it or approve it. 7, I needed to support as many AI models as possible. I didn't want to project something to depend only on one provider. And finally, as a bonus, I wanted a deep search mode, a more advanced search workflow with a summary view and an interactive result page. So I wanted something that lives inside the browser, and so the natural choice was a Chrome extension. The extension uses a side panel where I can chat with the AI model connected to it. And this gives me a persistent interface while I browse. The idea is simple. The browser provides the context. The AI model provides the reasoning and planning. And the extension acts as the bridge between the two. The next problem was choosing the brain of the companion. I didn't want to lock it to one model or one API. So Browser Companion can connect to different AI providers. In particular, it supports Gemini CLI, OpenAI Codex CLI, Claude CLI, Cloudflare AI workers, and any OpenAI API compatible model. The CLI connectors are especially interesting because they can help reducing costs. Instead of paying per API call, you may be able to use an existing subscription through the command line tool. And this was an important design choice. I wanted the companion to be flexible and not tied to a single company or pricing model. The companion can observe and interact with elements on the web page. It can inspect the current website, understand available links, buttons, inputs, and text, and suggest actions. But this can become dangerous very quickly. If an AI can interact with a browser, you don't want it to freely click everything, submit forms, delete things, or publish contents without control. So I added safeguards. The companion can read websites only on domains that are authorized. This also follows the way Chrome permissions work. For more definitive action, the user must approve them. For example, the companion can fill a form, but before pressing a submit button, it asks for confirmation. It can also run limited CURL-like requests, but only for limited actions, in particular GET and POST requests. The idea is to keep the agent useful, but not reckless. One of the hardest parts of the project was to find the right balance. Too many constraints and the companion becomes useless, and too much freedom and it become dangerous. So I tried to design it like this. The companion can see the website I authorized. It can observe the tabs it opens autonomously. And it can search and browse online without necessarily opening new tabs. And it can help me answer questions directly in the chat. But when an action has real consequences, it asks for approval. So the AI can assist, but I stay in control. Another feature I wanted was memory. The companion can ask if I want to save something, or I can explicitly tell it to remember something. For example, I can say, remember that I prefer open source tools, or remember that I live in this city. And the companion can save the information in its memory. I can also provide one or more text files with additional details, so the companion can use them as a personal context. The important part is that memory should not feel hidden or creepy. It should be intentional. The user should know when and what is being saved. As a bonus, I added a deep search. This is more than a normal chat answer. When I ask for a deeper research task, the extension opens an interactive tab with the information collected during the search. It can create a summary view, organize the sources, and let me ask for follow-up questions about the results. It can also create maps and lists when the results require it. For example, if I'm researching places, tools, products, or resources, the companion can structure the results in a more useful way than a simple paragraph. This turns the browser into a small research workspace. The funny part is that this app was not only built for AI, it was built with AI. I used AI coding tools during the development, and this changed the way I worked. Some parts were much faster to prototype, some bugs were easier to explore, but some architectural decisions still require human judgment, especially around permissions, browser security, provider support, and safety. So this project is also an experiment in vibe coding. How far can you go when you combine an idea, AI coding assistance, and a real project to solve? In this demo, I want to show you a few practical examples. To start, you can see on the right the browser companion sidebar. It has the classic chatbot interface. On the top, we can see which AI is using and the status of the page. Let's try to ask a companion to check something on Google. Here you can see that it's asking me to approve some of the actions. The companion replied to us saying what it did, and under we can see the action it did. Let's ask something else. As you can see, it navigated autonomously on the requested page, completing actions on my behalf. Now, let's try to see if we can open multiple tabs. And here you can see the pages we requested: Google Maps, Wikipedia, and Google News. Now, let's try a deep search. Here it starts to show the sources, the provider, the model is using, and most importantly, methodology and the details. We can see what's searched online, how many results read, and here some notes.
A few moments later.
Finally, our deep search is completed, and we can see the results. First of all, the print view. Here is ready to be printed. Then we can see the synthesis on top, methodology inputs, and some cards with a group of information and their sources. And now, most importantly, the detailed sections where we can see all the informations, their sources, and they are organized in more complex paragraphs. The results include also some lists and the sources with their preview, some collection of images found during the search, and most importantly, the chatbot where we can ask questions about the results. We have also different views of the results. Here, for example, we have only text. Then hybrid includes all the different view reports. List will show us the results as a list. And last but not least, maps that shows us the results in a map when available. As you can see, generates a layer with the information we found. Now let's see the interface of the sidebar. First of all, on the top right, we have the information about the model in use and its status. Then we have the theme, can be dark or light. And then we can see the status of the observation of the page, and then the settings. First of all, we have memory, where we can save information about us or whatever we want the chatbot to remember between sessions. Then we have attachments section, where we can see the files we saved and delete them if we need. We can load new files from the plus button in the chatbot. Then in current page, we see what the bot read of the page. And most importantly, here we can see the providers of AI models connected and connecting one. We can use the major providers like Codex from OpenAI, Gemini, Claude, and also Chrome Gemini Nano that is already inside the browser. And also some OpenAI compatible APIs and Cloudflare AI workers. In the drop-down, we select the provider and then the model we want to use. All the connected providers will appear here. Privacy can allow us to delete the memory of the section and to start a new one. activities will show us what the extension did, and more importantly, the logs are really useful here to do debugging. Browser Companion is still a project in development, but it already solves a real problem for me. It helps me browse, read, search, interact, and organize information without constantly switch between the browser and an external chatbot. If you want to try it, visit the GitHub repository in the description. Install the extension, test it, and give me feedback. I would especially like to know if it's useful, what feature is missing, what should be safer, and what would you like it to do next. If you like this project, subscribe to the channel because I'll keep building and sharing more experiments like this.